Hello. Hello everybody. Hello and welcome to the first PlanBee live learning session, and thank you, all of you, so much for joining us. Hello. I can see some of your comments coming in the chat. Welcome all of you. It's lovely to have you all here. Now, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Mr. Ryan, and today I'm your teacher. Now, I work at PlanBee, and I am a primary teacher myself. I'm working here from home today, and I'm really looking forward to doing some science with all of you this morning. So, let me tell you a little bit about what's happening during this session. We're going to wait just for a few minutes to let everyone arrive and get ready for today's session. So the main lesson will start at 11:10 this morning, and hopefully that will give enough time for all of you to arrive and prepare. Now, if you don't have access to a printer or for any reason can't get the resources that I'm about to tell you about, all you need today is a pen or a pencil and some paper. Before we get into information for parents about today's session, I would like to set a little task for all of the fantastic children here taking part in today's session. I'd like you all to take a look at this photo. This is a photo of a scientist, and they're looking into a microscope. Now, if you haven't ever used a microscope before, what do you think it's for? Well, looking into the eyepiece of the microscope, the scientist can see things in really, really tiny detail that you could never normally see with the naked eye. It's magnified. I wonder what that scientist is looking at. I wonder what they're working on. Maybe you'd like to imagine that you're that scientist and you're looking through that microscope. What can you see? What are you working on? What are you about to discover? While I'm talking to parents about today's session, I would like you to imagine what's being seen through that microscope right now. And I'd like you to draw what you imagine is in that microscope. You can draw a circle on a plain piece of paper like this, and I want you, science hats on now, to imagine what can be seen in that microscope and draw it inside your circle. Around that circle, you might like to write some words or sentences describing what that scientist can see, or what you can see if you're imagining you're a scientist. Okay, so I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat now. Great. Oh, lots of lovely comments about what you think the scientist can see in their microscope. Now, parents, welcome and thank you. Just while the children are working on this main task, just to get us started, let's go through today's session. Obviously, this is our very first live learning session, so thank you in advance for your kindness and your patience while we iron out the creases with this. So, very quickly, let me tell you. You can access today's resources, so that's the lesson plan that I'm using and the slides I'm going to go through in a moment, and some worksheets which you can use, if you're able to, via the link below in the description. It's the second link down, and there you'll be able to download everything that you need. As I said though, a pen or a pencil and paper is fine too, and I'll explain how to take part using just pen and paper. Additionally, there's a registration form, which is the first link in the description below, and we'd love it if you could sign in and give your children's names on that register so that we know who we're having a science lesson with today. After the main session, I'm going to suggest a little task which your children can get on with and work independently. And I know that lots of children in Year 3 and Year 4 are really good at working independently already. And then after that session, we'll have time for a quick parents Q&A. So if you have any questions about this or future sessions or anything to do with home learning, you can ask me then. I'd also like at this point just to introduce you to our two live chat moderators, my teacher colleagues. We've got Emma and Abby on the chat there today, and they're going to try and answer some of your questions if I can't get to them in time. Lovely. Oh, I'm seeing lots and lots of lovely comments about all of the things that the scientist in this picture might be seeing. Microorganisms? Maybe. Oh, maybe they're looking at ice cubes, yes. The scientist could be looking at cells as well. Lovely. Oh, lots of brilliant suggestions at what the scientist might be looking at in the microscope here. That's brilliant. At the end of today's session, we'll be sharing an email address where we would love you to send some photos and pictures of your work today. It'll be really nice to see what you've worked on, and we'll be sharing that at the end. So, it looks like there are lots of people here, and I think we're nearly ready to get started. Just before we do, we'll give people a last chance to come and join in. If you're already here and signed into YouTube, I'd like to invite the children now taking part today. If you like, you can say in the live chat, tell us your first name, and you can tell us the town where you're from. And I'll start. My name's Mr. Ryan, and I'm from Hawley. I wonder if there's anybody else from Hawley here today. Ah, hello. Hi, Eddie. Good morning, Maze. Good morning, Asa. Hi, Rocco and Cole and Fatima and Sumaya. Hi, Noah. Hi, Iman and Sally. I hope I'm getting these names right. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing them correctly. Oliver and Ethan, Ted, Mariam, Aisha, Claire. Hello everybody, it's lovely to see you all. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope you've got your science hats on. Today's live learning session, we're going to be doing some science all about eating and digestion. And this is mainly for children in Year 3 and Year 4. But if you are a little bit older and you're in Year 5 or Year 6, that's fine. This will be a really good science revision session for you. And a little bit later at the end, I'm going to share some information about an extended learning challenge which will really stretch you and test your science skills and knowledge. Hi Jessica, hi Jonty, hi Isla. Hello Matilda, Isabel. Thank you for coming. Hi Celine. Okay, so I think we're ready to get started. So, pens and pencils down please if you've been drawing what you can see in a microscope, and we'll get started on today's first online learning session. Okay. Right then, let's begin. Welcome to Science, everybody. Today, we are going to be learning all about eating and digestion. And this is what we're aiming to do today. If you can see here on my screen, we all want today to be able to identify and classify carnivores, herbivores, and omnivores. I wonder if anybody knows what those three words mean already. We'll find out. First of all, a question. Why do we eat? Why do we eat? I'd like everyone to think about that now. Have you thought about it? If you're working with a partner, I'd like you to tell them now, why do we eat? And if you're on the live chat, you can tell me now. Lots of people telling me the meaning of herbivore and carnivore already. That's fantastic. Pratham says to get nutrition and energy, to be healthy, for fuel to survive. These are some brilliant answers. Very well done, everybody. Let's look at the next slide. I'm going to read this for you, and you can read along with me if you like. Here we go. Our bodies need energy to move and grow. Our bodies use up lots of energy all the time, even when we're sitting still. We get the energy we need from food. If we don't eat, our body does not get the energy it needs to carry out all its functions. Ooh, that's an interesting phrase, isn't it? Functions. If we don't eat, our body doesn't get the energy it needs to carry out its functions. I wonder what that means. What functions do our bodies need to carry out? Are you thinking? Tell your partner now, what are our body's functions that it needs food for? And you can tell me in the live chat too. Oh, some fantastic answers and some brilliant science words here to explain the body's functions. Respiration, circulation, digestion, excretion. That's really good. Lovely. Jumping and running and for exercise, yeah. What brilliant answers. Let me read the rest of this to you. We have to eat the right foods too. If you don't eat properly, okay, I think we just lost connection there for a moment. So I'll recap what I just asked. I asked us to have a look at this photo of a family eating a healthy meal. What food can you see in this picture? Have a think, tell your partner, or tell me now in the chat. What food can you see? Bread, yes. Chicken, tomatoes, cabbage. Oh, there might be cabbage in there, yes. Salad, bread, water. Brilliant. Well done, everybody. Let's continue. I'm going to show you two different animals now. And I want you to think about what might be similar or different about the diet of these two animals. Are you ready? Here we go. So these animals need to eat to survive too. Different animals need to eat different things to get the right nutrients they need to stay healthy. Are you thinking about what these two animals might need to eat to stay healthy? How might it be similar or different? Have a think, and you can tell your partner, or you can tell me right now. What's different or similar about the diet of these two animals, a sparrow and a sheep? Yes, lovely, okay. Some of you are suggesting different things that the animals eat. So sheep eat grass, yes? Ah, okay, birds eat seeds and worms. Excellent. Oh, slugs as well. Yeah, they might eat slugs. Right, let's have a look at another two animals. Are you ready? Here we go. A frog and a dolphin. What about these two animals? What do you think might be different or similar about their diets? Have a think, talk to your partner, or tell me now in the chat. Oh, somebody is suggesting that one of those animals might be a herbivore, carnivore, or omnivore. Well, we'll find out soon. Both live in water, that's interesting. So that might make you think that they would eat some of the same things. But I wonder what's different about their diet. Ah, okay, lots of interesting suggestions. Dolphins eat fish. I don't think frogs eat fish, but I'm not sure. I wonder how we could find out what animals eat. Lovely, lots of good suggestions there. Let's look at two more animals. How about cats and foxes? I wonder how their diets are similar or different. Perhaps some of you have a cat at home. What does your cat eat? Great, lots of good suggestions coming in here. Ah, yes, that's an interesting point, isn't it? Yes. So Monira has said that cats also drink milk, don't they? And of course, baby kittens would have milk from their mother, wouldn't they? Great, lots and lots of good suggestions here. Very good, lots of good thinking, lots of good suggestions, everybody. Well done. Here are the three words that we talked about at the start of today's session. I'd like you to say them out loud after me. Here we go, are you ready? Herbivore, carnivore, omnivore. Could you say them out loud? Think again about what these terms mean. They're used to describe some of the animals that we've seen. I've already seen in the live chat some really good suggestions about what herbivore and carnivore means. What about this third word here, omnivore? Can anybody tell me in the live chat right now, or perhaps tell their partner at home, what they think omnivore means? Oh, okay. An omnivore eats both. Omnivore eats plants and meat. Omnivore means they eat both plants and meat. Omnivore means they eat everything. Oh, well, there are some absolutely brilliant answers here. Let's have a look and see how many of you were right about the meaning of these three words. That's if I can show you the right slide. Let's try again. There we go. Okay. I hope you can all see this table now, and this tells us that a herbivore is an animal that eats plants. Did you get that right? I can see lots of you got that right on the chat. Well done. And a carnivore is an animal that eats other animals. And an omnivore is an animal that eats both other animals and plants. So very well done, those of you who worked this out correctly. That's fantastic. Can you think of any other animals that are herbivores or carnivores or omnivores? I wonder as well if we can find out what an animal eats if we're not sure. I wonder how we could do that. How could we find out more about what an animal eats? Tell your partner now, or tell me in the chat. Oh, brilliant. Lots of people are telling me the names of other animals that might be herbivores or carnivores or omnivores. That's brilliant. Lots of good suggestions. Very well done, everybody. Lots of good thinking about herbivores, carnivores and omnivores so far. I'm going to show you today's task, which you can attempt on your own in a minute. When you do today's task on your own, you might need some help to find out what an animal eats. You might be able to use the internet with a parent to do some research about animals and what they eat. You might be able to use books at home, or you might be able to ask an expert, maybe an older brother or sister, or a parent, or somebody looking after you at home. So I want you to think about all of those sources of information you can use to help you when you work on your own today. I'm going to show you one of the worksheets which you might have been able to download via the link in the description below this video. If you're in year 3 or year 4, I would suggest that you have a look at worksheet 1A today, and you can ask somebody at home, an adult, to help you use this worksheet. This is worksheet 1A, and it's a table with 3 columns: herbivore, carnivore and omnivore. And your challenge today is to sort animals into those 3 columns, depending on what they eat. As well as the worksheet, in this document, there are some picture cards with different animals, and I hope you can just about see that on the screen now. And each of these animals has a little description next to it telling you some of the things that those animals eat. And as you're filling in your table, your 3 columns with herbivore, carnivore and omnivore in it, you can look at these cards and you can think, oh, that's what they eat. I wonder if that makes them a herbivore that only eats vegetables, or a carnivore that only eats meat, or maybe that makes them an omnivore that eats vegetables and meat. If you can't print out worksheet 1A, then you can just draw a table with 3 columns on a sheet of paper. Now, if you fancy a little bit more of a challenge, perhaps you are in year 4 or year 5 or year 6, then you might choose to work on your own on worksheet 1B. I wonder if anybody knows what type of diagram this is on worksheet 1B. What type of diagram is this? Have you seen this before? So, this is a Venn diagram. And you can use it. Well done everybody. Great answers. Lots of people saying Venn diagram. That's brilliant. You can put the 3 different types of animal into this Venn diagram. Herbivores will go in the left sector here. That's animals that only eat vegetable. Carnivore animals will go in the right sector here because they only eat meat. And omnivores actually go in the middle of a Venn diagram here, okay, in this bisecting region it's called. And that is because omnivores eat both vegetables and meat. There's a different set of picture cards if you're using the Venn diagram today, which I suggest you use for an even trickier challenge. and it's these ones, Animal Cards B. These just show you the animals and their names, and I'm sure lots of you already have an idea about what those animals eat. But if you're not sure, let's think back about how we can check and learn what an animal eats. Can you remember those ways of finding out? So you might be able to use the internet to find out about what animals eat. You might be able to use a book at home, or you might be able to ask an expert, perhaps an older brother, sister, an adult, somebody with you at home. Again, if you don't have a pencil or paper, then you can draw a Venn diagram. And it's nice and easy to do. You just need a sheet of plain paper and a pen or a pencil, and then you just draw two large ovals. And the ovals overlap like that. And then you'll label them. Herbivore, carnivore, and omnivore is the section in the middle. I'll move that closer so hopefully you can see that. Well, very well done to everybody who's taken part in today's live learning session. Thank you so much for joining me, and I can't wait to see some of your fantastic work, your tables and your diagrams, and maybe even your microscope pictures. I'm going to ask you now to have a little go at these activities today on your own. And I'm going to leave the pictures of the animals up on the screen so that you can have a go while we have a parent Q&A session. There are the animals. Once again, thank you for taking part, everybody, this morning. And I hope to see you again at another learning session again. So, parents, thank you so much again for joining us today. It's a real honour to be able to do this for you. I know it's possibly a little bit underprepared at the moment, I don't know, but thank you for your patience while we iron out the creases and try to make these learning sessions as valuable as possible for all of you at home. If you have any questions now, please do feel free to ask me while your children are getting set up and working on their own, hopefully, on this activity, sorting animals. As your questions are coming in, I will just let you know that at the end of this session, I'm going to be adding an answer sheet to the folder where the worksheets were downloaded from. So again, via the same link in the description, you'll be able to go and download those answers. They're great if you want to check children's work, or perhaps you need a bit of help yourself. I know I do with some of these animals. So that will be available after the end of this session. The video will be available as well to replay and watch back. And I'd also remind you that if you haven't yet enrolled via our parent enrolment, please do so. There's a link to our enrolment form at the bottom of the description, and please share this with other parents as well. You're welcome as well to share any feedback with us about how we might improve these sessions. You can do that via the email in the description. That's homelearning@planbee.com. And that's also the email address, by the way, where we'd love it if you could send in some pictures, maybe of some of your children's work today. It would be really fantastic to see what they've been working on. And I'd love as well, in a future session when we're back here again, to have a little chat about some of that work. So if you're happy to do so, please do send in photos of children's work to homelearning@planbee.com. So let's have a look if there's any questions coming in now. Thank you again to Emma and Abby, our Plan Bs who are on the chat there, answering some of these questions. Quite a few about printing and downloading resources. Hopefully, I think Emma and Abby are doing a great job of answering those. So I can see somebody is asking, will you mail us the worksheet? You can download the worksheets yourself. So if you scroll down, or if you're on a desktop computer, if you scroll down, you'll see the description below this live stream video, and there is a link there to a Google Drive folder, and that's got the PDF files, so worksheets, slides, plans, and they're all available for you to download and use. So you can either display them on your screen if you don't have a printer or you're out of ink or anything like that, and children can work in that way, just looking at the resources on the screen. Alternatively, if you can print them out, but there's really no need to. And we'll try and make sure that most of what we do can be done with simple resources at home, like pen and paper. I'm just going to look at some more questions here now. Will you do a session for older children? Yes, we will. In fact, I'd like to announce now that we are doing another live learning session tomorrow, same time, 11 AM. And if you've enrolled via our form, we will be emailing out information about that next live learning session later on today, possibly again in the morning. So make sure that you are enrolled via the home learning form link in the description, and you'll be the first to know about tomorrow's session, which is going to be an art session for Year 5 and Year 6 children. Just as it was today, you'll be able to take part even if you have slightly younger children. You might just need to support them a bit more. All your children will need tomorrow is pen, pencil, paper, and ideally some colouring pencils or felt pens and a ruler as well. So very simple, the equipment they need, but as I said, we'll be emailing out that information again tomorrow. Wow, hi George from China. Fantastic. Lovely to have you here, thank you. Okay, I'm just reading a few more questions here. I should say as well that we are hoping to do a session soon for younger learners as well in Key Stage 1. And there'll be some information about that via the enrolment form and the emails we'll send out as well. Do you do Year 7? No, sadly we don't. We at PlanBee, we're primary teachers, so all of our resources and planning, and the live sessions we'll be doing will be for children in Year 1 to Year 6. So that's not to say they wouldn't necessarily be suitable in some ways for children in Year 7 too. I would say certainly the upper Key Stage 2 lessons, like the art ones we'll be doing tomorrow, will certainly be of interest, they'll be enjoyable, and your Year 7 children are welcome to take part. Do you do Year 4? Yes. So today's session is actually, the lesson that we've done today is actually a Year 4 lesson, but in a lot of these cases they're suitable for children who are slightly younger or older as well. So today's science, I would say, is suitable for Year 3 children as well. They might just need a little bit more help accessing the learning, help with reading, that kind of thing. Are there going to be sessions daily at 11 AM? For the moment, yes. We think 11 is quite a good time, but we'd love to know what you think. Let me know if you think 11 is a good time. Yes, tomorrow there will be another session at 11 AM. As I said, it's going to be art for Year 5 and Year 6, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I hope as many of you as possible can join me for it. How do we get on the mailing list? There we go. Abby on the chat, super quick there, has shared the registration form. So you'll see PlanBee Abby there on the chat on the right hand side of your screen. If you're on desktop, has shared the link to enrol. Brilliant. Okay, so 11 is a good time. Thank you. Great, great. Lovely. There's a question here. Is there a schedule of lessons and topics for next week? No, there isn't at the moment. We've really raced to get this together as quickly as possible to help parents and children. So there isn't yet a timetable of lessons and topics. We're kind of putting this together as quickly as we can. I hope that we will be able to get more information out in advance fairly soon, but at the moment there isn't. But we will let you know every day in time for a next session. A couple of you saying, suggesting different times. What I should say about the different times for the sessions is that we will be putting these videos up to replay. So if you're not able to join in live, you will be able to watch the session back again anytime after it ends. Will you be doing the series on eating and digestion? Well spotted. There are several lessons in eating and digestion, and this was the first one of them. And we'd certainly love to extend these sessions out to do more lessons on the same theme, and that is quite possibly something that we will be doing. I can't make any guarantees or give you any details about that yet, but what I will say to begin with is that while we're getting these sessions up and running and improving them for you, we're going to be doing a little bit of a selection so that there's something enjoyable for each age range in primary, and also so that children and parents as well as us can get used to the structure and learn how to do this. And then once we've done some of those tasters, we might then get into doing a series of lessons within a scheme of work. Will you be doing Year 4 art? Ah, you love art. Brilliant. Okay. Tomorrow will be Year 5/6 art, but there is absolutely no reason why you can't attend and take part with your Year 4 child. They may need a little bit more support, and I might be able to again suggest at the end of the session, we'll do a quick Q&A again tomorrow. I might be able to suggest some ways in which you can adjust the activity to suit your child. Okay, a couple more questions there. Thank you again, Emma and Abby, for answering the questions. I think now the questions are slowing down a little bit. I will just share with you one last piece of information about today's lesson. So perhaps now, children, if you have a chance to stop what you're doing for a moment, you can come back to your Venn diagrams and your tables later and bring your attention back to me over here. So I'm really looking forward to seeing your finished diagrams and microscope pictures, as I said. Very well done, everybody. Hopefully you can see me on the big screen now. So there is one more thing that I wanted to share with you all. And if you enjoyed today's learning, or you would like to do some more learning after today's session about herbivores, carnivores and omnivores, there is an extended learning activity which you can do on your own after this session ends. And if you're in Year 5 or Year 6, this one might be particularly of interest to you. It's a really good challenge. It's something that you can do independently without adults. So this is something you can try on your own. On the worksheets that we've shared via the link below are some challenge cards. And these challenge cards show several different habitats. And you should be able to see some of these on the screen now. Perhaps you live near some of these habitats. So you might already be a bit of an expert about a woodland habitat, or a seaside habitat, or a pond habitat. I'm not sure so many people here in the UK will be experts on these habitats or live near them, but there are 4 more different habitats here as well. If you'd like to extend today's learning and show what you know, then you could choose one of these habitats and you could do your own scientific research project. I wonder if you can find out the names of some different carnivores, herbivores and omnivores that live in one of these habitats. How could you show what you know or what you learn by researching these habitats online, in books, or by asking an expert at home? You might have your own ideas about how you can present this, but I'll suggest a couple of ways now. You might like to present what you've learned to a little audience later on today, perhaps an audience of mums and dads or brothers and sisters, and you could stand up and present what you've learned about carnivores, herbivores and omnivores in one of these habitats. Or you might like to make a poster or an information sheet. You could do that on paper or you could do that on a computer to show everything that you've learned. If you've produced something that you're really proud of and you would like to show me, then I would love to see it. And you're welcome to send your finished habitat information sheets or posters to me on homelearning@planbee.com. As I said, these cards are attached to the worksheets which you can download via the description below. To help parents, there will be some answers in a separate file going into that folder, so you can get that via the description. And if you're looking for more resources and helpful hints and advice for home learning, you'll find lots of stuff at planbee.com and on our blog. I hope you've all enjoyed today's session, and I think we'll draw this to a close now. I've really enjoyed having the chance to teach you today, and I'd love to see all of your fantastic questions and answers all about today's learning. So thank you once again very much, and I'm really looking forward to joining some of you again in a future session. So, best of luck if you're doing the extended learning. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.